Hello, it's 9:30. Welcome to the weather update, October 20th, 2021. A very, very warm day today across the area. We had some record highs out there. We started off with some of these cirrus clouds in the morning, but they quickly got on out of here, and we had a nice, mostly sunny afternoon. Very warm, though, but I did take a little hike, because it was too warm to do a big hike. Around Cranberry Bog Nature Preserve to look at some of the fall colors there that are starting to show. And then you can see those clouds in the sky tonight, those altocumulus clouds there with the moon there. So let's go and look at what we got going on with our record high situation today. These are all the record highs across the area today. So Newark tied their record. LaGuardia, Islip, and Bridgewater all set new record highs. And the record highs for actually Central Park was, it says there was a record at 8, and no, there was not a record at Central Park. This might be the record for Central Park was 80. That wasn't broken. The record for Newark, 80. That was tied. And LaGuardia, their record was 79, so they have a new record of 80 degrees set today. Bridgeport's record was 75. That was broken with their high of 77 today. Kennedy's record was not broken. They had a record high of 81. Islip's record of 74 was broken with their new record there at 77. So you can see all the record highs today. A very warm day today, abnormally warm, and it continues to be very warm this evening. So let's look at some of the current conditions outside right now, and you'll see we are still in the upper 60s here in Nassau County. Still. And even on the South Shore, there's no sea breeze at all. Upper 60s, still holding on to 72, 73 at LaGuardia, which is ridiculous for this hour at night. 69 in Central Park. You go further out east, they're getting some radiational cooling. You got to go further out east. Islip is down to 63. Shirley is down to 57. West Hampton already down to 50. So that's the place to be if you're in West Hampton right now. You're definitely getting some good radiational cooling. We do have some clouds rolling in, which might put a lid on that radiational cooling. But with the clearer skies, the light winds, and the relatively dry air, there is radiational cooling. Also, it seems like in the Hamptons, they're in the 50s too. We head into New Jersey, and we'll see if they're radiation. And yeah, some of the areas, less developed areas in New Jersey, are also having radiational cooling, including west of Toms River, where it's down to 55. But in Toms River proper, it's still 65. So again, if you're in a less developed area, mostly woodland, especially the Pine Barrens, you're going to get that radiational cooling. But as far as the rest of us goes, we're dealing with a very, very warm evening tonight. Let's look at our high temperatures today, and here's the map again. You can see 77 in Carl Place, almost everywhere in Long Island, upper 70s today, across almost all of Long Island, mid to upper 70s, including the South Shore, because there was no sea breeze at all. The only place that were a little cooler out in the Forks, like 71 in Montauk. The city dealing with temperatures around 80 degrees, which is ridiculous. Let's see if Jersey got up to 80 today. I bet it did. Let's see if it got up to 80 in the Toms River area. 77 at Lakehurst, not quite 80, but again, just as hot, on Long Island as it was in Toms River with that westerly wind. That's pretty much brings all the heat in from Jersey. Let's take a look at what the lows were this morning. And you can see West Hampton got down to 45. 46 was reported at a station somewhere in Deer Park. That's actually not too far from Edgewood Preserve. 50 was the low at Islip. 49 was the low at Carl Place. It was a cool night last night, and cool compared to this night. The city was still warm, though. The city held on to their lows were only around 60 in the city. Let's see how they got. See if they got any good radiational cooling in the Pine Barrens west of Toms River. Drum roll, please. Show the lows. Sight sometimes takes a while. 47 at Lakehurst, yeah. So West Hampton was still cooler, but I see a 46 over there around Manchester. So, and there's a 43 reported at Coyle Field. So yeah, the Pine Barrens definitely had good radiational cooling last night. So looking at the Wonder Map, we'll look at some of our current temperatures on the Wonder Map as well, and you can see again it's very warm. But again, if you look at some of the less urbanized areas, even like Old Brookville, 59, but everybody's very warm. However, once you go into Suffolk County, it gets a little better. Even if you're in North Patchogue, let's see, 57 there. So I mean, they're getting somewhat better radiational cooling in Suffolk. Again, a little more open space. Versus Nassau County. And again, we also have the west wind, which is blowing the heat in from the city over our area as well. So it's also making it warm as well. So let's go look at what we have setting up over the next 7 to 10 days, I guess. We're going to start looking at the jet stream again, because this kind of tells us a lot. So we'll start with the jet stream here. And you will see that we're in a ridge position, so that's why we're dealing with the warmth. We do have a weak trough come through. This trough was supposed to be more intense for the weekend, but now it's like kind of backing off, and it's delaying the trough a little bit, so it's delaying the cool air that would come behind it. And then it kind of we have to wait until around Halloween to see some deeper troughs start moving into the. GFS loves to push stuff off. It's not at all uncommon. So what this results at the surface is we have another warm day tomorrow, but with the high in a different position, we'll have more of a southwesterly wind, so that should help with more of a sea breeze. We have this weak front come through on Friday, but then it gets kind of a little hung up of this little bit of instability. It's not really a strong high pressure, and it's not the cold air mass we were originally going to get. And now it's making us wait. It's actually cutting off a low and developing something out of that low. This is, again, just a run-to-run variation. If we were to look at the morning's run, I bet that isn't even there. Yeah, it's not even there. So next week there's a lot of volatility, which is why I don't really want to go too much into the long range until we get there. This would give us a really horrible tropical type of storm here, forming it, right? This is really unusual, and I would kind of discount this. Hopefully this high builds in and pushes that away. That's really unusual to see that. But it's delaying the really cold air now until Sunday. Originally, we were supposed to have much colder air come in. If we look at our temperature anomaly chart right now, and we'll go back to this week here, you'll see how much above normal we are. We're going to be, again, very much above normal tomorrow and Friday as well. And then the weekend, we're supposed to have a big cool down on the weekend, but now it's just going to be back to around average. And as far as the big cool down goes, we're going to have to wait. Do see a little bit of a cool down next week. There's that storm system. But we'd have to wait until that Halloween week before we'd see the next cool down. So let's take a closer look, and we'll go to our temperatures here, and we'll first start, I guess, with our temperatures here. So as you head into tomorrow, going to be a mild night. We're going to be lucky to get below 60, I think, unless you're in a less urbanized area, like a Pine Barrens or Suffolk County. You'll probably mid-50s there. Tomorrow, mid-70s again. Probably could be close to 80 in Jersey. Hopefully the sea breeze will save us by the afternoon, because tonight it's just so warm. At least it's not humid, but it's ridiculously warm. Friday, again, we get near 70. It's a little cooler on Friday. We have a little more cool air moving in. And then Saturday, we're close to average with the highs in the low 60s. And then Sunday will be the cooler day with upper 50s. But you see, we may have some clouds around, because when you look at this, you see, what does this scream to you? Stalled front syndrome, all right? As a front probably stuck right over, draw the front in blue here. Or is the front stuck right over here? So the stream's stalled front syndrome when you see that. Again, we were supposed to have a bigger trough, but that's not happening. So we may be dealing with some stalled front syndrome, and then that could be the generation point for this very unusual storm that this is developing for next week. And again, it's way out there. Hopefully we don't get it, because this could be a pretty bad storm. If I look at the winds here, this could be a pretty significant tropical. It almost looks like a tropical system that is developing next week. Say goodbye to all the leaves if that happens. But that, yeah, it almost looks like some kind of hybrid tropical. And then it hooks it back, because it's a cutoff low that somehow generates something at the surface. And again, the jet stream isn't around at this time. If we look at the jet stream here, you'll see. Well, actually, it is. We have like a big cutoff here. So it's very weird that the cutoff would translate into a tropical system. I don't know why it's doing it, but it's very interesting to look at. Nonetheless, this would be really bad for Long Island if this were to happen. It does like a loop-to-loop offshore. So, and that definitely looks like a tropical system because you could see the structure. That definitely looks like a tropical system. Very unusual to see this in the run. I'm going to go ahead and look at the rainfall around it too as well. It's really strange. And if we were to look at the rainfall, well, if I hit total, it probably won't be able to. But this is really unusual to see. And this would also generate a lot of big waves too. So if we were to look at the waves, significant wave height, look at this. This would be like getting a hurricane on Long Island. So GFS just decides to form a hurricane right there. That's really weird. I'm wondering if any of the other models, the only other models that go out that far, I don't even think the Icon, that's not going to go out that far. Maybe the Canadian would go out that far and see if that spins anything up over there. And it does not. So this is just some kind of fluke, I think. But still very weird to say the least. As far as our next chance of rain, let's go to the HRRR. We have 37 hours of it, and I mean this is the next chance of rain we have is with this front that's going to be approaching. But you can see it's very moisture starved. It's just generating some very widely scattered showers late tomorrow night. Chances are we're not even going to see anything. So it's very widely scattered. But this would be your next front coming through. If we look at the dew points, you'll see the change in the... this also shows the wind. So if you look at the wind, you see the wind comes more out of the south tomorrow. More of a sea breeze that does bring a bit of an increase in humidity, moisture in the air. But then you can see that front there. There it goes, passing through on Friday morning. All right. And if we look at... You see here that then the wind shifts over. We have that west to northwest wind kick in, and then that brings in the drier air with these lower dew points. But again, you can see this looks like stall front syndrome, and this is the problem. Stall front syndrome is very bad for us, and this is exactly why. So let's hope that GFS is wrong and it's just like a fluke or something. But it's still very interesting to look at. So I guess we'll go next to the sky situation. Let me go to the temperature for a minute. I want to get the HRRR as far as the temperatures go, as far as tomorrow goes. So, I mean, generally you see that it's going to be warmer in Jersey and cooler on Long Island with that south to southwest flow. So today was the hottest day on Long Island of the week because of that killer west wind. That's what that killer west wind does to you. So let's go to the RGEM, and I'll look at the skies, and then we'll look at all the other sky models too to show you what's going to be happening. So tomorrow there should still be a good amount of sunshine, maybe a few scattered cirrus clouds, but I think a good amount of sunshine. For Friday, we'll have to watch out. We might be stuck in between two areas of clouds, so we may actually have sunshine over us, over Long Island, and possibly New Jersey too if we're lucky enough to time that out. But as far as Saturday goes, we'll have some more clouds and the chance of a scattered shower, but then it looks like maybe by Sunday, RGEM says those clouds get out of here. Let me go to the NAM 3. So this is the NAM 3 for tomorrow. And similar idea. Plenty of sunshine. Just a few passing high clouds. Should be another really nice day if you like the sunshine. At least there'll be more of a sea breeze. And again, you can see it has it in a little clear air right over Long Island there. Whether we luck out like that, I do not know. Let me go to the GFS next. Obviously, GFS is very... low resolution here with the skies. Tendency to overdo the clouds. But it gives you a general idea that we're going to have clouds around with this stall front syndrome. And then there's that storm. Then again, it's really strange. I'm going to want to look at that on some of the other models as well. So let me go to the NAM 12, this kind of 18Z NAM 12, and we'll look at, and again, our next chance of precipitation just on the NAM. You can see very little there for that with that front. Saturday, we have this other low that's going to be gliding by. That could give us a slight chance of shower, but it's all very slight. And then it's trying to build this high in, and hopefully Sunday be a nice day, hopefully. So let me look at some other models here. I'm going to go to event to sky, and we're going to go to windy. All right. Now, the event to sky, if I move this to next Wednesday, I think it would probably be using the GFS. Yes. Okay. So let's look at this storm here. And wind speed. So this kind of shows the wind speed here over us. And there's your storm right there. All right. This is Wednesday at 11. Yeah, it would be Wednesday into Thursday that the storm would possibly. Is it Thursday? Or is it using a different run of the GFS? Sure as heck looks like it. No, there it is. It's Tuesday that we'd have to worry about this storm. So Tuesday into Wednesday, you can see this is pretty significant here. This is the wind speed. And if you looked at the wind gusts here, this would be significant. And this looks tropical in nature. Look at this, 71 mile an hour wind gusts offshore. So that's really impressive right there. That's really impressive. But you know what, an even better site to use is windy.com. So let's go ahead and look at that. I also forgot to show you the MODIS satellite for today. So you can see the clouds in the morning, but they were gone by the afternoon. We just moved them on out, and we had nice clear skies. When I would say any time after 11:30, the skies just cleared out very nicely. So anyway, close this down. Too much stuff here. So let's look at windy, and also let's see the European. Let's see if the European shows this cutoff as well. So I'm gonna just look at. I guess we can use the clouds and see if the European shows this cutoff developing here. You know, European is developing something, but it's developing something over here, further south. And having it possibly, like, get stuck. It's just going to be stall front syndrome. It's going to get stuck offshore. So European says stall front syndrome for next week. So we're watching stall front syndrome and the chance for a significant coastal tropical hybrid or something for next week. So Europe doesn't really show this too much. It does show more of a coastal storm, not a tropical system. But still, it could have some significant wind gusts that could develop. And again, this would be next week, next Tuesday, that we could see this. And this is the European now. And it just has us in a prolonged easterly flow. And this could be prolonged with pretty strong wind. I mean, 40 mile an hour wind gusts is not terrible, but again, some areas like Virginia Beach and offshore could be dealing with really significant wind gusts here. And it just lingers it here. It just cuts off. Let's go look at the waves. And this is also very concerning. This would be a big problem for the South Shore. 11 footers. So this is something to really be concerned about for next week. And this would be all the way from Virginia all the way up to Long Island that we'd be dealing with this coastal flooding situation. And it could be pretty bad. Again, the European, this could be a significant coastal flooding event where we could see inundation of a lot of areas along the shore due to this. So let me go to the wind, back to the wind, and now we'll look at this. So the GFS and the Euro are indicating a significant storm. The placement is different, but if we were to look at the GFS, let's go to Tuesday, GFS. This is your storm again, and this is, again, pretty significant here. It's Tuesday night. Pretty strong wind gusts, and again, offshore, you're doing. I mean, these are just sustained winds, but if we go to wind gusts, it gets even worse than that. And again, in the middle, this is a significant type of storm that I'm really concerned about for next week. So we're gonna have to watch this. We are definitely watching Tuesday. Nobody else has talked about this. Obviously, Samantha Ojiri is completely clueless about this potential. She, if this thing does materialize, her little enclave in Long Beach could experience some significant flooding. So this is definitely a storm to watch, and I'm very concerned about it. Here's Wednesday morning, and again, you could see those wind gusts over 50 miles an hour over much of Long Island, and then if you're on the east end, you could be dealing with wind gusts 60 miles an hour. And this is something that I'm really concerned about for next week. So it just popped up on the GFS, but the fact that the Euro has it too is a concern. It's not just one model, it's a couple of models. Because that stall front syndrome will get us every damn time. It's more than just clouds. not getting the sun in. It's also the fact that this is a focal point for storms to develop when you have stall front syndrome and you don't have a normal functioning jet stream, because we're dealing with a warming climate, particularly a warming Arctic, where you have less of a difference between the poles and the equator, leading to a much more disorganized jet stream. And that's why we're dealing with the warmth today. And we're going to keep an eye on this storm for sure. So get out there and enjoy the nice leaves while you can, because if this thing hits, a lot of them are going to be blown away. That's going to be it for this weather update. Take care, and thanks for watching.